Welcome to Good Game Pocket Edition, your weekly wrap-up for gamers by gamers. I'm Hex.
And I'm Barjo, and this week we have a look at the latest in the long-running franchise of Call of Duty, Ghosts.
But before we brave World War III, let's limber up on the dance floor.
My twinkle toes are ready, Hank.
Young man, there's no need to feel down.
Just Dance 2014 boogie's back onto consoles with an impressive track list, including plenty of current dance hits, classics from the 70s, the 80s, and even some Disney for kids. New to the franchise is On Stage mode, where one player is put in the spotlight while the other two players join in as backup dancers.
I think they did a good job with the range of music, but I just wish there was a better practice mode or tutorial, just something to help a person like me get into this game, because I can't dance. But I wouldn't mind learning how to. I enjoyed being able to play sweat versions of songs though. The intensity really cranks up, so even if I wasn't nailing the moves, I was getting a good workout.
It's also good to see they've built in a handful of console-specific features. If you're playing with Kinect, you can share videos of your dance moves, and the Wii U lets someone be dance master and use the touchscreen to change up the choreography on the fly. I still prefer the Dance Central series because it really breaks the moves down for you and teaches you how to be a better dancer, but I do think Just Dance is better when you've got a group of friends over because everyone can have a go, so I gave it 8.5.
I agree, I gave it 8. Now let's have a look at Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet & Clank Nexus is the conclusion to the future quadrilogy. New villain Vendra Prog is attempting to take over the galaxy with an army of dimension-jumping monsters. This is the 10th game in the series, and the platforming and over-the-top weapons are so polished.
This does feel like a very safe end to the saga on PS3, but they did at least try a few new tricks all around a gravity theme. You zip around in zero-G in the midst of an epic space battle, and later you get a gun that lets you create gravity tunnels to get around tricky terrain on planets.
I thought the range of weapons was a little lacking this time around. Straightforward guns like your blaster are fine, but I didn't really enjoy many of the other guns. Most were just too silly, like this Jack-in-the-Box. Others, like his nether blades, were just too weak. I enjoyed this, but it's not that memorable, so I gave it 6 out of 10.
It was a 7 from me. Now we shift our sights to the indie scene for a pair of quirky games. Lilly Looking Through harks back to classic point-and-click adventures with this bizarre tale of a young girl trying to save her brother from a possessed scarf.
Lilly!
Lilly is armed with magical goggles that shift reality between the post-apocalyptic present and a tranquil pre-disaster past. This mechanic lets her solve the game's various puzzles.
It's a clever setting, but the slow pace did grate on me a little. Her animations take ages as she wanders about flipping switches, and the design of the puzzles added to my frustrations because there were so many that were just simply trial and error.
Now, the pace was spot on for me because I think it suited that calm and deliberate style of the game. And the art design is so beautiful. I always look forward to unlocking the next area so I could see how it looked in both realities. This charming little adventure got a 7 from me.
I gave it 5. Next up, we dig into some old school dungeons. Desktop Dungeons is a tough little roguelike that assaults you with randomized levels that might be short, but aren't at all sweet, as you explore for loot and battle monsters. The enemies don't move, but you're constantly on the back foot. Foes are so numerous, and you reset to level 1 with each new dungeon.
There's a useful icon that shows whether your move will mean safety, a win, or death. But even so, resources like health and mana are always scarce commodities. I felt like I was always just scraping by.
The game's got a really novel upgrade system that focuses on improving your hometown instead of your character. As you construct new buildings in your town, you gain access to precious boosts and character classes that give you an edge in the next dungeon. I never think I'll enjoy these games, Hex, when I first start playing them, but this one got its hooks in, so I gave it 8 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Yeah, I gave it an 8 as well. Okay, shall we answer some questions?
Let's do it!
Alright.
Good game.
Alright, well, this week we've got a fairly lengthy question from Amethius in Sydney, New South Wales. Hi guys, I've been a console gamer ever since the release of the Nintendo 64 and have never looked back, until now. I've always had the impression that PC gamers were weirdos sitting in their rooms in the dark with Slurpees. I've always preferred playing from the couch with the lights on. Epiphany, I could just plug a custom gaming PC into my high-def TV, get a bunch of Bluetooth controllers, mouse, keyboard controllers, and enjoy games the same way, but with superior graphics. I know this is an old and biased topic, but if I change to a PC, will I be able to adjust easily, and is it everything it's cracked up to be? Or should I just move on to the next-gen consoles? What do you guys prefer and why? P.S. Looking at building a custom rig for around 2.5k. Thanks a lot, Joe.
Right now, PC is how I personally choose to game where I can. I love my PC, Hex.
I
I just love it. It's my baby. I love its 1440p screen, the water cooling, my 2 powerful graphic cards, my solid-state drives, my mechanical keyboard, my surround sound headphones. But of course, all of that comes at a cost financially, and it's why I can't afford to go on holidays.
Why go on holiday when you can sit in the world of Tamriel and high definition?
This is true, Hex. Sometimes getting a PC game to work can take some fiddling, and sometimes you find that they just get rough ports, such as with the latest Call of Duty Ghosts, and even Dark Souls had a lot of issues when that came out with graphics card drivers, and sometimes they don't even have controller support. Generally, the PC community, though, steps up and patches most of the technical problems that these games present themselves with.
The PC also has a more versatile system, and generally I find it's much easier to connect to friends with most games.
Hey Goose, how's it going?
For $2,500, you could build a real monster of a PC that'll make next-gen consoles seem weak and puny. Although, to be fair, you could also buy both consoles and a bunch of launch games for the same price.
This is true. But lately we've also seen that digital PC games have come down in price, sometimes even half the price of the same game on console. Plus, on PC, you don't have to pay any online subscriptions such as Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, and of course the other thing to consider is that you'll miss out on console exclusives, and some big games like Destiny will be console only for a while at least.
And there are some games which are just better with a mouse too, like real-time strategy games and point-and-click adventures, and I'm pretty average with a controller on FPS, so I'm just used to that mouse and keyboard setup. Speaking of PC gaming, how about we see what the peeps thought of the free-to-play Face 'em Up Warface in your review?
Yeah, it's your review. Fine choice. And it seems like most of you enjoyed it quite a lot. Bezo here writes, shoots, bang bang, for free, cool. And gives it 9 stars.
Likewise, Hazer and Wags seemed impressed, saying, I love the game, 8.5 stars.
But hater of the week has to go to Hot Dog Rocket, who wrote, I would rather eat a great big bag of licorice than play this game again. Half a star.
I quite like licorice, but you're not a fan, are you?
No, I think it's the worst.
Sometimes I hide licorice in your bag.
I feel that hatred.
And who needs to actually play a game to review it? As Ginger Ninja here says, I heard this game is pretty good. Oh, don't just only seen videos. And it look okay. It's not bad, but not brilliant, but still enjoyable. 6.5 stars.
Right, well, thank you to all of you reviewers this week, but let's get back to the studio badge.
Okay.
Good game.
Hex, are you ready to answer the call?
The Call of Duty?
Yes, the Call of Duty.
Okay. Call of Duty Ghosts is the latest installment in the series, and it's developed by Infinity Ward, who made the Modern Warfare COD games.
You play as Logan, who with his brother and father become members of the Ghosts, legendary soldiers who go behind enemy lines to fight back the Federation and put an end to the war.
Nowadays, COD is basically a bad action film game, but they're usually still enjoyable on that level. But I just couldn't get on board this time, Barjo.
Yeah, me neither. Last week we spoke about the expectation of a single-player campaign with Battlefield 4, but I think with COD, you expect a decent campaign to pull you through a meaty chunk of action and fun, but I can honestly say, I don't think I had a single moment of fun with this campaign. The first half was just so tedious, full of brown and uninteresting locations that you mindlessly wander through, shooting and moving on.
Yeah, it's not until you go back in time a bit and you start moving through some more interesting set pieces that the pace returns to that COD we know. And pacing is what Infinity Ward are usually quite good at. The non-stop crazy action with slow motion breaches and things exploding at every turn, and thrilling stealth sections.
I even think the visuals started to improve a bit towards the end, but it was all too little too late.
You're going right up. Here we go.
There are a handful of small sections where you take control of Riley, man's best friend. It's a basic mechanic, he attacks whoever you order him to, but you also sync with him on a handful of occasions for some canine stealth action.
I was expecting a much bigger dog-based campaign based on all the PR around this game.
Well, I think all the dog razzle-dazzle was just an excuse to make it look like they'd done something innovative when in fact they hadn't at all.
We reviewed this on PC, and it's a pretty terrible PC port. There's frequent frame rate drops and field of view issues, and the whole game just looks like it's in 720p upscaled.
All right, let's get to the multiplayer. As usual, there's a lot to do here. The same old deathmatch modes return, but there are some new ones as well.
Most of these modes are now only 12 players, and as a result, the zones do feel a bit empty and hollow. Normally, I like smaller numbers in a map because it inspires more team-based strategy, but I don't think it worked here.
Yeah, I think it's because there's a lot of little areas of these maps where players can just hide and rank up heaps of camp kills.
Yes, they do seem to reward the camper. One of the new additions to multiplayer is squads. Basically, you build up a squad and take it online against another squad leader. It's quite a fleshed out mode, and I liked it. The AI was also pretty solid.
There's also Extinction, which is similar to Black Ops Zombies, but with aliens. I think overall COD now is just feeling really tired. The map layouts and the design choices they've made just aren't as fun as the last few games.
I think they need to reboot. They need to pull it apart and look at the essence of COD. What makes COD COD, which is the fast-paced, frantic online play and those action sequences that are really exciting to be in. Because I don't want another game like this. You know, I think back to Blops and Modern Warfare 2 and COD 4, which is the one that really changed everything for me. And I just loved those games so much, and I just didn't like any of this. So I know it seems harsh, but I gave it 5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
It was a pretty forgettable installment for me, so I gave it 5 as well.
Good game.
Well, that's all we could fit into our pocket for this week, but don't forget you can catch regular episodes of Good Game 8:30 p.m. on ABC2 on Tuesday nights.
Yes, next week is a huge episode because we have 2 shiny new consoles to break in with the Xbox One and the PS4.
Generation change! It's a refresh reboot.
Until next time, may all your games be good ones. Hex out.
Bye, Joanna.